Say enough is enough after a string of shootings downtown. I'm Adrian Whitsett.
I'm Tanya O'Rourke. The mayor now plans to introduce a new curfew for the Fountain Square district and add more officers to patrol the area. He says it's about more than just crime. It's about perception and making people feel safe.
We've got WCPO 9 News anchor Brett Bagansky live downtown, not far from Fountain Square, where one of those shootings happened last night. Just lay out this new plan, Brett.
So one of the big things that happened today was Mayor Pureval talking about a new curfew of 6 p.m. in the Fountain Square area. This is something that's going to have to go through City Council, but the mayor and the police chief feel like something needs to change. The first thing that they want to talk about changes is adding more police officers in the area, enforcing certain crimes, how they enforce it, when they enforce those crimes. The word perception was brought up a lot today.
Everything just feels very uncertain, but I feel like it's definitely starting to slow down earlier than it typically does.
I spoke with Lauren Norman, the general manager of Green District at Fountain Square.
We are pushing through. I think a lot of it has to do with what's going on down here.
Last night's shooting happened just around the corner from her business. She believes incidents like that resulted in a drop in business. Is safety one of the big things that you feel like why some people aren't coming down?
Yeah, I mean, I think just generally here, like downtown, who wants to come drive down here? And
I don't care what the data says. I don't care what the kind of perspective is. If there's two shootings in the very heart, in the civic heart of our city, that is completely unacceptable.
We've been talking all summer about the crime and the perception of safety in our city. It does not go unnoticed by me.
I also spoke with people who work downtown. What's your perception of downtown?
I love it. I do. I think it's a shame because when you see people come from out of town, you want them to have a good impression of it as well.
I walked by some officers earlier and they were discussing the kids not being in school. So, I mean, I think that's still a huge problem.
We also noticed that this morning and early this afternoon as officers and security guards were moving school-age kids away from Fountain Square. We saw several school-age kids just hanging out around Fountain Square. We saw an officer kind of shooing them away. Is truancy going to be enforced?
This isn't about blaming people. This isn't about passing the buck. This is what is necessary is all of us to take a comprehensive view as to why this is happening, including potentially truancy, including the busing situation, including rerouting Government Square, and how we're enforcing the law.
But I think we all have a part to play in it as well. It's not just the mayor's problem. It's not just the police problem. It's all of our problem. It affects all of us.
So hours before that press conference, we got a statement from Ruby Restaurant saying that they want the city to take some kind of action. Brittany Ruby Miller talked about how she'd been having regular meetings with the police chief, the mayor, talking about trying to keep people safe, trying to get a hold of violence, especially youth violence in the area. And then hours later, we heard the press conference. We heard the proposed changes. So it'd be interesting to know what Ruby Restaurants thinks about that because they said they're not going to be talking about it for the rest of the day. But to recap, more officers in this area, including SWAT team, including the help of the Ohio State Highway Patrol, working alongside Cincinnati police to keep everyone safe. And if that new 6 p.m. proposal, that curfew that the mayor was talking about goes into place, well, we'd be talking about a curfew in place right here, right now in Fountain Square. That's where we're live tonight. Brett Bagansky, WCPO 9 News.
Near Fountain Square, there have been 4 shootings in the last 4 years. 2 reported just around the corner in May of last year and last week. Then we saw what happened last night. Then about a block away, there was a deadly shooting in 2023. As you look at the Cincy Insights number, in the last 4 years, downtown overall has had 46 shootings in that same period, mostly between 11 at night and 3 in the morning, mostly on the weekends. In the city as a whole, though, shootings have gone down. When we click back out of this, you can see in 2022, at this same time, the same date, in 2022, there were 279 incidents. And as we move through 2023, it drops. 2024, it drops. And now we are sitting technically at 185 in the city itself. But when we go back to downtown, we could see that there were 13 incidents reported at this point of the year, not including the shooting from last night. It's up compared to 9 this time last year and 13 in 2023. We also have data that I want to get to that shows overall crime is trending down generally And then when we get to downtown, you can see that trend is vastly different, ticking up every year since 2021. And yesterday's Fountain Square shooting, one of at least 3 in less than 8 hours in Cincinnati and Hamilton County. We know an 18-year-old was killed in Westwood. Another person was shot in the West End and is expected to survive. And as of tonight, all of those crimes remain unsolved.
And prior to today's news conference, I did sit down with the mayor in his office to talk about crime. And as Adrian mentioned, it's up dramatically in downtown this year. 300 more incidents so far, according to police data. So the mayor tells me he takes full responsibility for the crime issue, saying it is urgent that police start proactively policing, meaning if they see someone breaking a law, no matter how trivial, they must act on it. I'm not saying they were leashed before. But are you essentially saying you're unleashing the police department?
No, they have always been responsible and empowered. I am saying now that we have to do this. No more excuses, no more pushing back. This is a public policy priority, and we have to work urgently. My expectation has always been the same, which is that they enforce the law as it is written and that they are responsible and empowered to proactively intervene.
So the mayor is up for re-election in 3 weeks. The man running against him is this guy, Corey Bowman, who sat down with me to discuss crime issues in Cincinnati. He says the mayor's words are empty.
I think that the people in Cincinnati obviously are tired of seeing these reports happen time and time again. But what they're becoming more frustrated with now is hearing the same excuses time and time again. Because we hear the same things, it's unacceptable, we're going to make change, we're going to do this, but it seems like nothing's working.
By the way, that election is 3 weeks from tomorrow. Early voting is underway right now.
And we have a goal here at WCPO of trying to find the best path forward for the tri-state and the community. We want you to tell us the actions that you want taken in regards to violence and crime or other issues you see daily. You can do that by going to WCPO.com. Click on the Finding Solutions tab at the top and then fill out the form at the bottom of the page.